Today I'd like to talk about how to make adobo my way. Now I've been making adobo most of my life, and it seems like every time I make adobo, I learn a little something more. And I want to pass this on to my family so that they will benefit from my experiences in making adobo. The number one thing you want to think about in making adobo, secrets, is that the pork that you get should be fresh, number one. And also, it should contain a certain amount of fat, because fat pork makes adobo tender. Now, there's nothing wrong with fat. You take the fat from the pork. Too much grease is not appetizing. I understand that, but I'll cover that later. Now, here's the thing. One of the things that you want to do, the best type of pork is probably the country spare ribs. Now, you can cut them, and they've already been cut in long strips. You can just cut them into 1 inch, 1.5 inch pieces. The best thing to do is, if you have the time, cut your meat, put it in a pot. Take 3 cloves of garlic, chop them up fine, add that to the pot. Take a cup of vinegar, pour that into the pot. Use a half a cup of water, add it to the vinegar. Put that in the pot. Use about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Put that into the pot. I recommend about a tablespoonful of sugar. Put that in the pot. A bay leaf. And you can also use paprika. Paprika gives it a little more flavor, and it gives it some color. This is a good thing. Now, when cooking pork, it's always better to cook the pork for a while on a low heat. That makes the pork tender. If you cook pork on high heat, and fast, it tends to become tough. You don't want that. So my recommendation is, after you put the adobo in the pot, let it soak for about a half hour or whatever time you have. Then turn it on and let it go to high heat. So when the heat is high, it brings it to a boil. As soon as it comes to a boil, turn it down to low, just like you would do rice. And you turn it down to low and cook it for about 45 minutes to an hour. The meat will turn out tender, just like you like it. Now, after the time is up, 45 if you want, or even an hour, get a slotted spoon or something and take the meat out of the adobo juice and put it in a frying pan. After you strain it all, take it out and put it in. Now brown the meat. Make the meat nice and brown. In the other pan, where you've taken the meat out, the juice, you want to turn the heat up high now and reduce that sauce, because the more you reduce it and concentrate it, the more it concentrates the flavor. And that's what you're looking for, nice concentrated flavor. As you reduce that juice, take some flour and you'll make a gravy. Now, just take that 1 to a sprinkle of flour and sprinkle it in, and just take a whisk and whisk it around and thicken it up a bit. Because what it does, that grease from the fat of the adobo. You render it with the flour, which makes sort of a roux with any type of gravy. You know, when you add flour to the fat, it makes a gravy like a roux, and it's delicious. And it gives it a real good flavor. So when you bring it down, you don't have to make it too thick, but just thicken it up a bit and let it reduce and bring out all that really good flavor. Then take and put the meat back into the pan and let it turn the heat off and just let it sit there, and all that good flavor will be in the pot. And it'll turn out delicious every time. The meat will be so tender, it falls apart. So if you follow my instructions, I guarantee you'll have some of the best adobo you've ever had. Happy eating adobo. Love you guys.